Cardi B gets so emotional after Stef Diggs' life-changing decision for their future. The night was supposed to be calm. Just another quiet evening away from the flashing cameras, the gossip blogs, and the endless speculation that followed their every move. But nothing about Cardi B and Stef Diggs' relationship had ever been ordinary, and tonight would become one of the most defining, emotional moments of their lives. Inside a softly lit private suite overlooking the glowing city skyline, Cardi sat curled up on the couch, absent-mindedly scrolling through her phone, her thoughts clearly elsewhere. For weeks, fans had noticed the tension, subtle changes in her posts, mysterious captions, and moments of silence that spoke louder than any headline. What the world didn't know was that Stef had been battling with a decision that could shape not only his career but the very foundation of their future together. He stood near the window, staring out at the city he had conquered through sheer dedication and discipline. Football had been his life. His identity. His escape. But love had entered the chat in a way even his toughest games never prepared him for. "Cardi, we need to talk," he finally said, his voice calm but heavy with emotion. She looked up, instantly sensing the seriousness in his tone. Her playful smile faded, replaced by concern. "What's going on, baby?" Stef walked over, knelt in front of her, and took her hands in his. His eyes glistened, a sight fans would never believe if they weren't there to witness it. "I've been thinking about everything, my career, our relationship, our future, and I made a decision," he said softly. Cardi's breath hitched. "You're scaring me, Stef. Just tell me." He swallowed hard. "I turned down the overseas contract. The one worth millions. I said no." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You what?" she gasped, stunned. "That deal would have taken me away for years. Different country. Different schedule. Less time with you. Less time building what we're trying to create together. And I realized, no amount of money is worth losing the woman I love." The room fell silent. Cardi's lips trembled as reality hit her. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't another rumor. This was real. He had chosen them over everything. "You did that, for me," she whispered, her voice shaking. "For us," he corrected. "For our future. For the family we talked about. For the life we keep dreaming of." That was it. Cardi broke down. Tears streamed down her face as she pulled him into a tight embrace, burying her face into his shoulder. The strong, fearless woman known to the world for her bold energy now sobbed uncontrollably, overwhelmed by the depth of his sacrifice. "Nobody ever done this for me like this before," she cried. "You really chose me. You chose us." "I will always choose you," he replied, holding her just as tightly, his own voice breaking. What followed was an intense wave of raw emotion, laughter through tears, whispered promises, and long moments of silence filled with unspeakable love. Cardi opened up about her fears, about trusting again, about the scars relationships had left behind, and Stef listened, every word, every breath, every tear. "This is not just a relationship," Cardi said, wiping her tears. "This is destiny. This is healing. This is growth." Later that night, she took to social media with a cryptic but powerful post: "Some people love you with words, others love you with sacrifice. I know which one I got, broken heart, red heart." Fans went into frenzy, speculating wildly, but the truth was far deeper than headlines could ever capture. Behind closed doors was a moment of pure vulnerability. A turning point that solidified their bond like never before. Stef Diggs didn't just make a career decision that night. He made a life decision. And Cardi B? She wasn't just emotional. She was transformed. Here is your very long, highly dramatic, emotionally charged fictional entertainment story. Backhand index pointing down. Broken heart. Cardi B gets so emotional after Stef Diggs' life-changing decision for their future. Loudly crying face fire. The room was dead silent. Not the kind of quiet that feels peaceful, but the kind that feels heavy, trembling, almost sacred. Cardi B sat on the edge of the luxury white couch, her hands nervously twisting the diamond rings on her fingers, her eyes glossy with a storm of emotion she couldn't control. Across from her stood Stefan Diggs, his jaw tight, his eyes intense, his entire body radiating the weight of a decision that would change everything. This wasn't just about love anymore. This was about their future. Their legacy. Their forever. And when Stefan finally opened his mouth, Cardi had no idea her entire world was about to shift. "Dove, I'm ready to change everything for us." Stefan had always been known for his confidence, his fearless attitude on the field, and his unshakable presence. But tonight? Tonight he looked vulnerable. Almost fragile. "Barty," he whispered, stepping closer, his voice breaking slightly. "I've spent my whole life chasing touchdowns, contracts, fame, but none of that compares to the life I want to build with you." Cardi's breath hitched. Her lips trembled. Her eyes searched his face as if trying to read the future hidden behind his words. "I'm making a decision," he continued, voice growing firmer. "A real one. A forever one. I'm restructuring my entire career, my schedule, my priorities, everything, so that our family always comes first." And that was it. That was the moment. Cardi's composure shattered. Loudly crying face, Cardi breaks down in tears. Her hand flew to her mouth as a choked sob escaped her chest. Tears poured down her cheeks like a broken dam, her shoulders shaking violently as the reality of his words sank in. You would really do that for me?" she cried, her voice barely above a whisper. "For us?" Stefan nodded, his own eyes now glossy. "I'm not choosing football over you. I'm choosing you over everything." Cardi stood up abruptly, pacing the room, overwhelmed by emotion. This wasn't the flashy, loud Cardi fans were used to, this was Belcalis, the woman who had been hurt, doubted, judged, and misunderstood for so long. "I've been through so much, Stef," she sobbed. "People always leave. People always change. I wasn't ready to believe someone could love me like this." Ring the decision that shocked everyone. Then came the moment that made the air feel electric. Stefan dropped to one knee. Gasps echoed from the small circle of close friends and family watching in disbelief. "I'm not just talking about the future," he said, pulling out a velvet box that shimmered under the lights. "I'm claiming it." He opened it. Inside sat a breathtaking diamond ring that sparkled like a promise written in the stars. "I want a life with you. I want our home. Our kids. Our peace. Our chaos. Our growth. Will you walk into this future with me?" Cardi collapsed back onto the couch, crying uncontrollably, her hands shaking as she stared at the ring in disbelief. Oh my God," she whispered, tears soaking her makeup. "Red heart, yes, I'm saying yes." The world stopped. Then, through a waterfall of tears and shaky laughter, Cardi nodded. "Yes. Yes. I'm saying yes." Stefan stood, gently sliding the ring onto her finger as she threw her arms around his neck, clinging to him like someone terrified to lose a dream. The two held each other tightly, sobbing, laughing, breathing in the reality of a commitment so deep it felt unreal. Cameras flashed. Phones recorded. Social media exploded. But for them, it was just love. Rose a future sealed with tears and promises. Later that night, Cardi posted a heartfelt message that left millions emotional. "I used to think nobody would ever choose me completely, until this man did. Love don't scare me no more. I'm his, and he's mine, red heart." Stefan's response was simple yet powerful. "Forever is just the beginning." Fans called it the most emotional celebrity moment of the year. The decision that changed everything. The love story nobody saw coming. But behind the headlines, behind the cameras, beyond the drama, it was a woman overwhelmed by feeling chosen. Loved. protected. And a man who finally decided that the greatest victory of his life wasn't on the field, but in her arms. If you want this story taken even further with face screaming in fear shock twists, baby pregnancy rumors, collision jealous ex reactions, ring luxury wedding drama, crying face public breakdown scenes, newspaper viral controversy.
도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿한 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿한 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 난 구름 위를 날고 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가